The Chicago
Southland.
Southland is
Chicago Southland
is building.
is building.
The Chicago Southland is building.
We're building.
We're building trails.
We're building seasonal menus.
We're building a hotel.
We're building nature play areas.
We're building breweries and pouring plenty of pints.
We are building new adventures. We're building softball fields.
We are building education. We're building interchanges. It took 40 years.
We're building fun, new educational exhibits.
We're building a national park.
Soon.
The Chicago Southland is building, and we're building stronger businesses through tourism. We're building beyond the cranes and bulldozers. We're building connections among our communities, both physical and emotional. We build for each other, for the region. We build for tomorrow. Good afternoon and welcome. On behalf of our board of directors and staff, we are delighted that you've been able to join us here today. My name is Jim Garrett, and I'm president of the Convention and Visitors Bureau. As you begin your lunch today, I'd like to thank Mayor Dan McLaughlin and our host community, Orland Park, as well as the staff here at the Homewood Suites for providing a wonderful venue and a great lunch for us today. As you've heard, the Chicago Southland is building. In fact, we're building a lot, from interstate highway connections to retail developments and hotels. Rarely is building easy or smooth. There are struggles and challenges at every turn. Take, for example, the CalSag Trail. The concept for the trail began over 10 years ago at a small meeting in Lake Catherine in Palos Heights. These folks had a vision, they had a passion for what will become a 26-mile trail along the underused and ignored waterway, and now we are seeing the results of that 10-year effort. The trail is turning this corridor into a natural resource that connects 14 communities and touches 1.2 million residents, which also attracts visitors. The CalSag River is a reflection of many communities in our region looking for their second act, and many of those communities are turning to tourism. Tourism is a job creator in the Chicago Southland, and it directly supports just under 13,000 jobs in our area. Folks like Antonio, who keeps the rugs and floors spotless at the Tinley Park Convention Center. Dominic, who calls a race at Belmar Park Racetrack and Creek. How about Tom and Austin, who annually brew over 31,000 gallons of craft beer at Flossmoor Station Restaurant and Brewery? You know, that's a lot of beer for two guys. The Convention Bureau believes that building relationships is extremely important, and we have been cultivating those relationships for a very, very long time. Our sales staff traveled nearly 19,000 miles last year to do just that. They attended 23 industry trade shows where they met one-on-one with meeting and event planners. Those connections have successfully brought new business for our hotels and hospitality partners. You can see the results of our overall performance and sales number in our annual report at your tables today. One of the numbers I want to share with you is hotel occupancy. This is just one barometer which measures our success in the region. Last year, our Southland hotel occupancy climbed to 63.4%, which is the highest occupancy percentage on record. I'm also extremely proud of our entire sales staff. Director of Sales, Mary Patchen, and Sales Manager Joe Kester were each named as one of the 40 people in the United States under the age of 40 by Collinson Publication for their leadership and commitment to professional excellence in the hospitality industry. Our sales are building, as also as building relationships for quite a while now. Much like building a trail, the sales process is rarely quick nor easy. The Mid-America Trails and Greenway Conference is only one example of a multi-year effort it takes to land a new piece of business. Leaders like John Wilson of the Lanark Park District had the idea to bring this conference to the region in 2009, and our sales staff worked closely with John and others to prepare our bid proposal. The entire process took 5 years, and this event was held last November at the Matteson Holiday Inn, and it was a very, very positive and successful event. We've also been building connections in the group tour market with new creative promotions and marketing strategies. Our team has been working very hard And the good news is the motor coaches are coming. These connections have also brought many new sporting events to the Southland. Several regional martial art events have chosen the Ho-Chunk Sports Complex in Linwood to host events that draw thousands of competitors and spectators from throughout the Midwest. Our sales staff works aggressively to secure these new pieces of business and went up and beyond in servicing many of these events. The event organizers have taken notice. I believe Senior Master Patty Braham of the American Taekwondo Association said it best.
I'd also like to thank the Chicago Southland because they have gone above and beyond in helping us put this event on. The staff at the Southland is so cooperative and so helpful, and they're always ready to help us with anything we need. I'm serious. I love the Southland.
Industry magazines are also taking notice of the Chicago Southland. The Convention Bureau was honored and received the coveted 2014 Reader's Choice Award from Sports Events magazine. One of the photos from the Western Junior Open Championship, which was played at Flossmoor Country Club, was chosen as the cover for the annual sports planning guide, which will reach 10,000 planners. You know, today we're talking about building, and we should also talk about including growing our regional sports market. To expand our competitive reach in the sports market, the Chicago Southland needs to seriously consider building a multi-use sports complex. What you see here is a concept. It's a vision. If a complex like this ever became a reality, the Southland would become a major sports destination driver for the entire Midwest. If we could pull together the resources, a complex like this would be a game changer and a force multiplier for economic development and attracting state, regional, and national sporting events to our region. Build it, and they will come. When you came in today, hopefully you have the opportunity to take a picture with the Havermeyer Trophy. This storied trophy is presented to the winner of the U.S. Amateur Championship, and hopefully you had a chance to take your picture. You can also do it later this afternoon. You know, Babe Ruth, it took him 17 years to get 3,000 hits. I did that in just one afternoon playing at the Olympic Fields Country Club. Actually, you should have seen what I did on the second fairway. Not much better. We're working closely with the Olympic Fields Country Club and Kemper Sports to assist in the marketing coordination of the USGA's 2019 U.S. Amateur. Thousands of people from around the world will converge on Olympia Fields next August, and we expect our Southland hospitality to impress the USGA when they are deciding on potential locations for future championship locations. Our marketing and communications team has been building as well. We built a new series of market-specific ads around the tagline, "As a matter of fact." Here are just a few examples. Our digital advertising strategy is focused on reaching specific targeted audiences through Google AdWords and Facebook. Our social media channels also saw increases across the board in the number of likes and follows, and corresponding increase in engagement. The Convention Bureau also hosted several familiarization tours for travel writers who toured our region and wrote and tweeted about their Chicago Southland experience. And we appreciate our tourism partners who continue to support this important program with tours, meals, and overnight stays. Working with the Illinois Highway Lincoln Coalition, the Convention Bureau had the opportunity to host 40 international diplomats who were in town for the IPW International Tourism Conference. The diplomats visited and heard the history behind the Mokina-Lincoln Highway mural and walked through downtown Frankfort to have tea with Mr. and Mrs. Lincoln. Speaking of tea, Cindy Vassell of the Pickwick Society Tea Room in Frankfort was honored with the prestigious Lincoln Award, which was presented to her by the Illinois Office of Tourism at the annual Governor's Conference this year. Cindy is one of many folks that are building the community of small business owners in historic downtown Frankfort. The Chicago Southland is building, and that needs to be a point of pride for us all. It's too easy to think of the negative things that are happening, but we need to open our eyes to the reality that is upon us. The region is building and building in a big way. We are seeing continual reinvestment in our hotel properties. The biggest renovation is at Giorgio's Comfort Inn and Conference Center in Orland Hills, a $2 million renovation of all the guest rooms and common areas that will be completed very soon, and it looked great. Many of our other hotels are renovating as well, like the Super 8 in Bridgeview, the Baymont Inn in Calumet City, Motel 6 in Lansing, the Hampton Inn and Suites, and the Country Inn and Suites, both in Matheson, and the Hilton Garden Inn. Product development is an important part of our region as we see new construction moving forward. Le Banc Boutique Hotel will open very soon in downtown Homewood. The city of Oak Forest and the village of Mokina are both in the early stages of developing a professional shooting range, and both will help attract competitive tournaments from throughout the Midwest. For many years now, the Convention Bureau has been a strong supporter of historic Pullman area, and we have been working closely with our congressional delegations in Washington to encourage President Obama to use the Antiquities Act to make Pullman the 402nd National Park, which would have an extremely positive impact on our area. Soon, Phase 1 of the new interchange of Interstates 294 and 57 will open. To say this was a long time coming would be a gross understatement. This will bring new economic opportunities to the Southland, especially in communities that surround the interchange, like Markham, Harvey, Midlothian, and Posey. We also are seeing the western segment of the Calumet Sag Trail get closer to completion every day. The trail is a big step in turning this waterwork into a waterwork that works for everyone, and it's creating jobs. 14 communities and several regional partners have played a big role in the development of this trail. We appreciate all the community leaders and regional organizations that are building, not just this trail, but are building the Southland. We have a number of leaders who are helping build the Convention Bureau and serving on our board of directors. At this time, I would like and appreciate for our board of directors to please stand. Nobody's here. Come here. I'd also like to take a moment also to recognize our executive committee. Roy Patel, chairperson, Dave Newquist, vice chairperson, Amish Patel, treasurer, Daniel Fitzgerald, secretary, John Thompson, past chairperson. Thank you all so very, very much. I'd also like to thank our state legislators who have joined us today, people who recognize the value that tourism brings to the Chicago Southland. Bill Cunningham, state senator. Bill, thank you for joining us. Representative Fran Hurley. Is Fran here with us? Fran's not able to join us. We'd also like to introduce a couple of folks to us from the governor's office. Crystal Saint. Is Crystal here? And we had one more from the governor's office, right? She didn't make it? Okay, thank you. There's also a very close friend of mine who is also a very strong friend of tourism. Mark Gordon. Mark is the executive director of the Illinois Hotel Lodging Association. Mark, thank you very much. And now it is my pleasure to introduce probably the most important person in my life, my beautiful wife, Peggy. It's hard. It's speechless. I don't want to get emotional here. Peggy, thank you so much for all you've done, for your patience with me, for the late night hours that I'm up. You're number one. You're the love of my life. Thank you so much for being there. At the core of the Convention Bureau is our staff, and they represent over 100 years of combined industry experience. I want to sincerely thank them for their dedication and commitment, for the wonderful work they do. It now gives me great pleasure and pride for the Convention Bureau staff to introduce themselves.
Sally Schlesinger, Executive Vice President.
Mary Patchen, Director of Sales.
Joel Kester, Sales Manager.
Christy Stevens, Sales Manager.
Jane Bouchon, Sales Manager.
Kim Kislowski, Director of Marketing.
Scott Board, Communications Manager.
Danielle Spravolo, Social Media and Events Manager.
Linda Young, Director of Operations.
Diane Graves, Office Manager.
Bernice Shive, Receptionist.
Thank you all so very, very much. You know, life is all about reaching for what might be next. Think about that. It was Daniel Burnham who said it best, make no little plans. And Gandhi preached that the future depends on what we do today. Never have those statements been more true. Right here, right now, in the Chicago Southland. The Chicago Southland is like a construction crane. The engine is fired up, the materials are gathered, and we are waiting the signal to hoist the load. I challenge you, the Chicago Southland local and regional leaders, everyone here today, to remember the words of Barnum and Gandhi as you give the signal to move forward and build for tomorrow. Thank you so very much. Enjoy your lunch, and our keynote speaker will be up shortly. Thank you.